So you know what I hate about having, not that I have a bad memory, but there's some small things that I forget. And I forgot to actually give my grades out to the cornerbacks in my last video, so I'm gonna do that here. Um, so the cornerbacks, if you guys didn't check out that clip, I suggest you do, because I talk in depth about Kendall Fuller, Ronald Darby, Jamie Moreland, and Fabian Moreau. But altogether, I'm gonna give the cornerback room a C. Kendall Fuller, Ronald Darby, just because they kept on getting burned way too often. The secondary, as I stated, was another weakness for the defense. And I'm gonna break it down also with the safeties, free safeties, and strong safeties. So let's talk about that. But in all together for the cornerbacks, I give them a C. So let me know if you guys agree with that assessment. So let's talk about the safeties, free safeties and strong safeties. And the free safeties were these guys: Deshazor Everett, Jeremy Reaves, and Troy Apke. Strong safeties were Kamren Curl, Landon Collins, and I know that there was a third one. I just can't remember, or I don't have them written in my notes because Kamren Curl and what's this guy's name? Landon Collins were the main guys. So let's talk about these guys. Look, my big thing with the free safety position was that was the weakest part of the safeties because as much as you're gonna say, well, Oscar, Landon Collins was garbage this year. And he was, but he wasn't as bad as, say, a Troy Apke, who gave, Washington fans false hope. People were calling him Trap Key during training camp because he was able to make interceptions, taking it for practice. It's one thing to you got to translate practice over to real game. That's the big thing. You got to translate over that, and Troy Apke didn't do that. He kept on getting burned. He couldn't tackle, couldn't do anything. So what did Ron Rivera have to do? He had to take Deshazor Everett, a guy who was used for special teams, making sure that kickoff returns and punt returns didn't result big. He had to move him to that starting spot in the free safety, and he did a way much better job than Troy Apke. Yes, he had key penalties. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but like I said, Jeremy Reaves stepped into that position and he played even better than Troy Apke. So that's another position I think that Ron Rivera needs to address in the free agency and draft, because like I said, you were able to get by with it this year. You're not going to get by with it in the future. I'm sorry, Ron Rivera. You're just not. You just got to... I understand that this year was kind of like your test year, trying to see who you have, who can make the roster in the future. But somehow, some way, you ended up winning the division because the NFC East was bad. So you just got to fix that in the offseason. Because like I said, it worked out this year, but it's not going to work out next year. But Jeremy Reaves and Deshazor Everett played well enough for Washington safety group. Troy Apke is now known as Trash Key instead of Trap Key, so he is a bust. I think Washington picked him up in the 4th round of 2017 or 2018 draft. I can't remember which draft it was, but I remember it was like a 4th round pick or something. Maybe even a 5th round pick. So that's the free safety spot. Strong safety is another story. Landon Collins was another guy who got, who kept on getting burnt in coverage. That's the biggest thing of the safety spot, guys, is that Washington safety spot, they couldn't cover. They could tackle, well, aside from Troy Apke because he couldn't tackle, but everyone else could hit hard and tackle. In fact, it's unfortunate though that he got burned, but finally Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio got him into a position where he was kind of like an extra linebacker. It was like an extra linebacker situation. So he played great in that spot, but then he got hurt in the Dallas game, tore his Achilles, so he was done for the year. So unfortunately, like I said, he got hurt when he was finally feeling comfortable in that position. But in comes Kamren Curl, and he was a steal of the draft. He was the steal of the draft. He was a 7th round pick this year. I gotta give Kyle Smith credit where credit is due, because he is responsible for picking talent from 3rd round and beyond, and you will be dearly missed, Kyle Smith, because he is now officially out of the Washington front office, but he will be dearly missed because he was known for picking talent that just played incredible this year. But Kamren Curl had a few interceptions, was a hard hitter, made tackles, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries. He did everything. So I gotta give him props for that. So he was a steal of the draft. Kamren Curl was. So altogether, guys, the safety position, they sucked in coverage. They were trash in coverage, but they could tackle. That's the only plus, that they could tackle. Kamren Curl was good, was okay in coverage, but he can get better. He's a rookie. He'll get better over time. But here comes my grade. I gotta give the safeties, I'm gonna give them a C+. A C+, just because they struggled in coverage, but they could tackle. And of course, Troy Apke also brings out that grade. Also, Ron Rivera and the coaching staff kind of responsible for that as well, because, like I said, they decided not to win. The safety position was kind of getting thin after the Landon Collins injury. They didn't go after anyone. They brought up Jeremy Reaves, who played okay in that position. So I'm gonna give him a C+. No more than that. Let me know if you guys agree. Next up is going to be talking about the special teams unit. Not just the kickers, but also the coverage team. And then, of course, the final segment will be grading the rookies. So that is what's coming up next, guys.